Chelsea Villa from Houston. And by the way, she's going to have an in-service for lumbar stenosis on Tuesday, November 14th at 1 o'clock here at the East Side. So please attend. And I think that's our professional meeting for November, no?
It's not, because the next week is Thanksgiving, and that's the third day. You want to switch it? Lily knows.
Let's keep it the way it is. Let's do this, and we'll switch it to the second week. No?
We'll switch our professional to when she gives hers?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
We'll have it together. Okay? And then also I'd like to welcome
It's
Miss Misty Valenzuela, our PTA for Horizon. Thank you.
Welcome.
And with that said, let's start the meeting.
All right, guys. So we're gonna just move a little bit first. I'm gonna go ahead and get the meeting started. My presentation is gonna be on random cyber attacks. And I know I have met with the staff previously in reference to these attacks, but this one was particularly alarming because this particular random attack happened at El Paso Quality Dentistry on the west side. It happened here in El Paso, okay? And I got this from the timeline from CBS Channel 4 on September the 11th. And El Paso Dentist's office says it was a victim of a cyber attack. El Paso Quality Dentistry on the west side sent out an email to its patients saying it was the victim of a ransom attack. The office said no personal patient information was compromised. But listen to this. But x-rays, pictures, treatment notes, treatment recommendations, prescriptions, medical and dental history questionnaires, and insurance information were intercepted. Understand? The FBI says that hackers usually gain access to the information through an infected website or an email chain. Once you click the link on the email chain, it will activate a JavaScript or a computer program that will download information to the computer that reaches out to what we call a command or a control server. That server then sends a signal back to the affected computer to encrypt the information over the computer. This is the gentleman, or I'm not sure if it's a male or female, Linwood Bridgeford, FBI supervisor agent with the cyber squad. In this case, I didn't put the whole article, but they wanted to go ahead and have ransom. They wanted Bitcoins in return for the information that was stolen from this El Paso Dentistry office. So I went ahead and I put an example of not a good email that looks very legitimate. This arrived at my email address, and it says, "Dear customer, our driver has attempted to drop off your parcel today, but you couldn't be reached at the address or the phone number." It kind of cuts off a little bit, but it says it's from UPS ground with freight. Well, I get a lot of stuff for medical office supplies to the supplies that we use for ES, and the only way that I can screen these, and this is why I included it in the handout, is I put the cursor on top of the link, and it says, it gives you the address to where it goes. And as you can see, it starts with https matri.info, then UPS. So this already automatically tells me this is not a good email, okay? Because it doesn't begin with the person or the entity that sent out the original email. So again, this is something that looks really good. Look at the date that it came in. Just came in Monday. Good email address. For all intents and purposes, I'm clicking to find out, hey, where's my stuff? Luckily, knew a couple of things. I wasn't expecting anything that particular day, number one. And number two, it just didn't seem right because, you know, you take you take the information that you have on a daily basis, you try to incorporate that. I know Rosie's always there. So, you know, first thing I'll do is hey, you know, did anybody come? No, nobody came. Okay, then something's not right. So then now I included something that is a legitimate email. And again, it says you have a package coming tomorrow, gives us the date. And when you put the cursor on top of the link, it starts with ups.com web tracking. So you know this is a good email to receive. And again, this is something I was expecting, or an email I was expecting it. That's why, you know, but I guess the point that I'm trying to make is be very, very careful, because now we know that this isn't happening in cities like Los Angeles, New York, Chicago. This is happening here in El Paso, and it happened to a local dentistry office, unfortunately, here. And I'm just gonna go over, I don't have the information as far as how El Paso Dentistry is going to handle their breach, but I want to give you what the HIPAA violations are. So if you did not know or could not have known that you were breached, we're going to get hit with a $100,000 to a $50,000 minimum per incident. Okay, it's per incident with a $1.5 million cap. Okay, now, if there's reasonable cause and not willful neglect, meaning you knew that this is something that happens, you did whatever you thought was appropriate to try to prevent yourselves, you're still gonna get a $1,000 to a $50,000 minimum per incident with the same $1.5 million cap. Okay? And lastly, if willful neglect, but corrected within 30 days, meaning we knew about it, we just, it's not gonna happen to us. We're in El Paso, what happens to us in El Paso? It's $10,000 per incident and a $1.5 million cap. Okay, so I hate to start the tone of the meeting with such urgency or such, but we need to be really careful with emails we're opening, what websites we're visiting, and in summary, I just want to remind everybody in section 510 of your EPPTS employee handbook, the internet should not be used for personal gains or advancement of individual view. Solicitation of non-company business or any use of the internet for personal gain is strictly prohibited. Use of the internet must not disrupt the operations of the company, network, or networks of other users. It must not interfere with productivity. Okay, so I just wanted to end it at that. Does anybody have any questions that I can help you guys with?
What do they mean when it says per incident? Like
It is per incident. It's, let's just, yes ma'am, per incident. Say one particular patient had their insurance information stolen, had their x-rays stolen, and had their treatment notes stolen. Each one is an isolated separate incident. And it could be fined $100 per incident up to $10,000 per that particular incident. So please be very, very careful where you're at. If in doubt, let me know. I can log in, I can take a look, make sure. I know we have people that have been very diligently and they send me emails saying, I don't think this is good. Please continue to do so, especially when you're not expecting anything. Please don't open it. I mean, it's a serious situation now.
Just within the last 2 weeks, I just mentioned to Armando, I've received emails for invoices, and they're not mine. I know they're fine. And then there was another one this morning, I think came from a lawyer that said, my client said, handle this, you know what to do with this. I just didn't skip. But
Right, just yesterday, I also got one that said, you know, hey, you haven't paid my invoice, pay me now! Exclamation point. Well, so yeah, right away you get rid of that. You block the sender, you throw it to the trash. Anything else? Any other questions? Concerns? Also remember, do not download any software without letting me know first too, okay? Because a lot of the time, they offer free software, and if it's gonna help you be more productive and it's gonna, you know, help you with your work, just let me know so I can make sure that there's nothing attached in the back of it. I mean, there's nothing saying that we don't allow you guys to do that, but just please let me know.
What about like updates, like for like Trillion?
Don't install any updates, because we found that some of those updates carry those. Yeah, so you know, I try to do my best to update your PCs as I go in there. But if there's an update, dude, let me know. Send me an email. Send me a CIS request. And I'll try to get that done when you guys are available. Anybody else?
Well, thanks for the update.
Okay. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for keeping us connected.
Yes.
You're welcome. Yeah, this one really scared me because this one's local. This one's not out somewhere.
Good afternoon. everybody. Today I'm gonna talk about EPPTS Medicare guidelines for evaluation and reevaluation. As you all can remember, this handout was already distributed to you all, like I think in June or July. I don't know. But we have made a modification to that handout, so I'm going to give you a revised one today, and this is pertaining only to Medicare because additional information came to us.
Page down.
So what do I need to do?
Hit menu again.
Hit menu again.
And now
And
page down.
then, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so I contacted Rachel Hard-Degree, and she is from the Payment Policy and Practice Director from TPTA, Texas Physical Therapy Association. So she can give us more clarification on Medicare evaluations. And her response that she gave us on August 24, and I have her email, it was that it is a clinical decision. There is no quota or limitations on the number of evaluations performed on a patient. But it should be clear in the documentation why full evaluation was necessary versus a reevaluation. So with this in mind, it's very open. There is no limitations. It doesn't say per diagnosis, new body part, nothing at all. So Prudy and Charlotte, as board members, made the decision to what are we going to be doing for EPPTS. So that's why it's very important that we call it EPPTS Medicare Guidelines, because it is based on this email and based on the owner's decision. So with that in mind, I've added, so let's review the information first. So what it was decided is that for an evaluation or a reevaluation, after a patient has been discharged, after DC, from number 1 to 90 days, so the patient returns. The patient has been discharged and the patient returns with another prescription. So if he has passed 1 to 90 days from discharge, then you're gonna do the visit, and this is in Optimus. The visit and the report type is gonna be a reevaluation, and we are gonna bill a reevaluation. So it continues to be the reevaluation like you have always been doing. So there is no change there. Now we go to 91 to 179 days from after the patient has been discharged. In Optimus, the visit, you're gonna select an evaluation, and the report type is gonna be an evaluation. But you're gonna bill for a reevaluation. You're not gonna bill for an evaluation. When you're gonna bill for the evaluation, an evaluation is after 180 days, 6 months. So when the patient returns, has a new prescription, has passed more than 180 days, then office staff select for the therapist the evaluation, and the therapists are going to bill for an evaluation, the codes for an evaluation. So again, there is nothing, it was very vague, no limitations, so we're going to try, we're going to follow these guidelines, and effective today, effective tomorrow. Any questions? No? Okay. So, if you can try to take one so it's, if I have extras, I can get them. Just put them. Debbie, can you fold them? So on the is the first one Medicare in the handout. So what was added is on the second column, second row. So under evaluation, right here is EPPTS guidelines after DC. Is everybody with me? Yeah, so right there. So that's the revision that has been made to your handout. So please disregard, throw it away, recycle it, shred it, do not use it. So after, and the date is on the bottom, September 19, 2017. So we're gonna follow, and it is EPPTS guidelines after DC. Patient has been discharged, 1 to 90, 91 to 179, and 180. So reevaluation done, and reevaluation bill. And then, I don't know, is evaluation done? Did I make a mistake?
No, you're right.
That's
Eval
okay.
done, re-eval bill.
See, here it is. Okay. Evaluation done, and rebuild, and then evaluation and evaluation. Okay. Okay, any questions? No, that's it for me. That's it.
I don't have any fancy graphics like Sylvia. Okay. Oh, you did that for me? Sorry, you're quick. I'll let you handle it, because I'm a mess on that. Oh,
Menu?
yeah, okay, thank you, Armando. You know I'm challenged. Okay, just some brief highlights, I'm not gonna be very long either. Just to let you know, some of you received an email on this, but for those of you who haven't, I'm just gonna go through some marketing updates. Dr. Natividad and Jackson, as you all know, joined the Las Palmas del Sol Corporation. But Dr. Natividad and Jackson, they do have their own offices. Dr. Jackson and Natividad together on the west side. However, Dr. Natividad is the only one practicing here on the east side. Dr. Jackson will not be practicing. So I'm hoping Dr. Jackson's going to be starting to refer to us. I know it takes time to get credentialed once you change practices. Doctors Ledford and Zuniga have joined the, I still call them the OSA group, but they are also contracted with Tenet. So they're in the Providence Sierra group. And they have started practicing with Doctors Alos, Hernandez, Westbrook, and Meisenheimer. Is that right? Yeah, and Ledford and Zuniga. And they will both be on both sides of town. Dr. Reina Maldonado, as you all know, he opened another office in Socorro. And it was kind of skeleton hours for a while, but now they're up and running full time. So they've built their patient base. So
What's his specialty?
family medicine. Yeah, and he's his nurse practitioner that he has, Luis Vasquez, is at the clinic three or 4 days a week, and then Dr. Reina Maldonado is there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, so hopefully we'll be picking up more evals for Horizon. It's good to be based on good practices. A lot of the well-being of the patients is very important in these networks. You know that you're bringing them in for their well visits, their yearly exams, etc. So just be aware that they are growing. So that's there. Then on the new patient log, just many of you probably don't know, the OCs, we have them doing a new patient log for each month. And what they're doing is they're tracking every single patient that comes through our doors that is referred to us. So all new referrals are on here. And then we utilize this, I utilize this in marketing to find out what percentage we're losing and why we're losing it. So for instance, this particular clinic had a total of 51 referrals that came through our doors or phone calls. And out of those 51, there was about 15 that did